Hello, and I'm thinking use these today. If it's better or worse, who knows? Anyway, I wanted to tell about because I was gonna write about it and I thought, it's a little bit to the story. Let's do this live. So I came to think about yesterday. This woman who actually changed my life for the better. Because what I did was I started college at Pasadena City College, and as I'm not native English speaking, I got to my first English class was supposed to be ESL, they call English as Second Language, and those classes were hard to get into. They were full because I was a foreign student. That kind of got a push to get in there. So I got into that class anyway the first day, and I sit through the first lecture, and the professor is saying to me, after the class, says, come here. He says, you're kind of ruining my class here, he says, because my English, according to him, the English was that good that it's just reckoned for everybody else. So he personally took me into something called English 100, which was the first English class I would have taken the next semester if that was the case. Regular English, reading, speaking, writing. And this professor, her name was Ms Bonilla. And she kind of, here she's, one of her colleagues asking her for a favor, and she kind of looked at him and she wasn't impressed with this at all. And she kind of nodded and sit down, like really strict. And I didn't think much of it. I thought, okay, right, fine, I'm in. So the first thing I do, right, the first thing that happens, after that, this was not, I got in, I registered, blah, blah. The first regular class I was to come back to, at the time I was bicycling to school. I walk in 5-10 minutes late. The first thing I do, after getting this whole thing done and getting the favors and whatnot, and she was not impressed. And she looked at me, didn't speak to me personally, didn't say a word to me personally. I sat down in the back, and she gave a little quick spiel about, if you don't like it, you're welcome to leave. Basically, college is voluntary. You don't have to be here at all. And if you're not going to put in the work, then I'd rather you leave. Basically, that's what she was saying. And I got it. I got a heads up, like, okay, no more 10 minutes late. And not only that, I got the idea. She set the standard really high, right off the bat. And I got the idea that either I do this or I don't. Just slopping through just because I think English is easy is not going to hack it. I got it. I got it really strong. So I started to push a little bit, and lo and behold, this turned out to be one of my favorite subjects. Now, I took her classes again the following semesters. Took two of her classes, I think. That was all I needed. This is my GE, my general education classes. And I got so much out of it. I sat with her one afternoon for 3 or 4 hours, and she happily gave of her time, as long as you were doing the work, as long as you were growing. She was on fire for that, for students that really wanted to make a difference. And I'm sure she had plenty of other things to do other than sitting with me for 3 or 4 hours. But by Jesus, I got so much out of that. I learned so much from this woman. And I was sad to leave the second class I took, the last class I took from her. From her walked into being, she's kind of nasty strict, to wow. And it changed everything. It changed my standard. And it drove me to wanting to do more. It drove me to, because she always questioned, like, okay, so what's next? She always drove me into wanting to do a little bit more. And in the end, I said, you know what, thanks to her, I said, you know what, I'd like to change my major to English. And she said, this is the one thing I do remember. She said, no, don't do that. She said, stay on the path you're on, because she said, because there's way too many English graduates that the competition is really high, that don't get anywhere. She stay at the path you're on, keep doing what you're doing, and write about that. And that was probably one of the wisest, cleverest advice I ever got in my life. I do distinctly remember that. This one person changed me so much. And I am today very grateful for her. So, and even in general at PCC, at Pasadena City College in California, I had a lot of fun. I learned so much, I had a lot of fun. I met some amazing people and some really, really great professors. Then I went on to universities. It was still good and I learned some there too, but at PCC was, I guess that's where it all happened for me. But that was distinctly. And how important those professors are to us. Now, having that said, I'm thinking back now and thinking maybe I should have stuck to it, because I really, really, really got great into the writing. I loved it, and there's something that I could really soak up and do for hours. But I know she was right to write about what interests me. Writing per se wasn't what interested me. Teaching others perhaps to learn English wasn't what was interesting to me. So it's just what I really want to get through was, it's amazing how certain people can change your life, especially professors or teachers that we mostly look up to, especially when you go to college, because you're there voluntarily, like she said. You don't have to be there. Yeah, people that you want to learn from. Then I had some teachers that, I can't say I have any really bad teachers, but I had teachers that was less inspiring, that was more like doing it and just wanted to make it through the day, basically. Most teachers do want to teach, but they have other things on their mind, especially like the professors coming in maybe in the evenings. They have their day job in mind. But anyways, so that's who Ms Bonilla is, and she's half the reason I'm writing so much as I am. For sure. She certainly put me in the right path, and I appreciate her so much. I am so grateful that I got to encounter her. And I know for a fact I had other professors who I thought about, who turned out to be people I learned a lot from, or that changed my life basically one way or the other. So I appreciate those, and appreciate teachers and how they inspire. It's not what they teach, it's how they do it. That's kind of the bottom line. They change the world one by one. So that's what I wanted to say today, and maybe, or hopefully, wishing that you made me think, maybe you think back of some people that had changed your life, some teachers or some form, it doesn't have to be school, but some form of authority, shouldn't say authority either, but teachers that taught you. And please share. So, I'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll be writing.